Hi, it's the Planning Psychologist here. If you're new, hi and welcome, and if you're a regular, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a quick review, maybe not so quick, review of the Sterling Ink 5-year planner journal, as well as a flip through of how I've set this up. I waited until March so that I'd actually been in here for 3 months so I could have a genuine review of this, an unbiased one. I'm not affiliated with Sterling Ink in any way, so this is going to be all about my own experiences in it, how I use it, what I've set up for myself and my family. But I wanted to give myself the time so that I could really get to know this planner. So first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you my setup. So this is a custom-made Louis Vuitton cover that I had cut down from a bag that I was no longer using because I'd actually ripped it. And it fits the A5 cover, the A5 notebook perfectly. So let's get started. So this is my family, but here I've got, I obviously bought the black, the 5-year, and also the clear cover to go with it. A clear cover, not the Sterling Ink cover. I'm using the Lauren Phelps Designs cover over on top of it, and it fits perfectly, as you can see in here. Given how thick it was, I was concerned because this is, I think, a 520 notebook. It's actually really quite thick, but fits perfectly. And these are just gold filigree. They're like really thin metal stuff that I had off Temu, and I thought we'd add it on here. This is not a me specific only planner. This is about my family and what we get up to day to day. The point is that this is a quick reference, and I love the idea of looking back every year when I'm writing a quick note about what we got up to. So that's why I'm using it for. So let's get started. I love a good washi dashboard. So this is a washi dashboard of, these are all different washies that I've collected over the years. I just like the way that they look together, so I decided to do them together. And then we'll get into the planner. So decided on this one to write an intentions page. So this journal is a quick daily snapshot of what we are doing as a family, anything from what we had for dinner to what each of us are doing individually and as a family. 5 years of us. The joys, the laughter, the craziness, and even the simplicity of what our daily lives entails. Memories to love and cherish. And that's just my cover page, that some vellum that I printed myself, and this is old paper from our wedding invitation, so I thought I'd repurpose that here, given that it's our family journal. These pages represent our nationalities and the places that my husband and I were born, but also represent the nationalities of our child, of our children. So that's what that's about, and just under here I've just covered that up because those are our actual surnames, so thought that that's probably the best idea just to cover that up, but that's what I've done with that page. There we go. Obviously one of the little things has just flipped off. Just pop that back up there, sorry. Our name meanings and where they came from were there, and then I went straight into an index, intentions, and all of that kind of stuff. This little bit here is the beginning pages of each month, and what I've done here is just gone this year, how old each of us turns, and where we're working or what we're doing. So yeah, and then it's straight into each month. So each month starts obviously with the way that Catherine has set this up is a blank page. So I've actually decided to each month tab them up, and every single month I've got a different Sterling Ink vellum that I've done, and then I've just printed out my own stickers there for each month. As you can see as we go through, these are all, every single one is a Sterling Ink vellum. I love her vellums, they are beautiful. And these are just some of my favourite prints that I've gotten over the years, and some of them I had to track down because they were quite hard to find. But there you go, so each month is tabbed on, and each month has the year there. And then you get to the freely section, but we'll get to that in a minute once I've gone through what I'm doing for the months. So let's go back to January. because this is actually finished. So this is January, and there's always a blank page at each one where that vellum is. Right. So what I've decided to do on that blank page after the vellum, right directly after that the vellum's tipped in on, is I've put a photo of us and what we were doing. So it's one event throughout the year, and it's throughout the month, sorry, and it is whatever it is. So each month I'll be doing that, just a random photo of us doing whatever it is we're going to do. And then I get into the daily journals. So in January, I decided to use the stamp, and I very much prefer having the day, just the letter for the day, so I know what day it is. I found it hard to manage without knowing what day it was. Don't ask me why, but that's just the way my brain works. So that's what I've done. The 2024 stamp is actually part of the Sterling Ink planner. When you buy it, you get a set of 5 stamps for the five consecutive years. That's what Catherine has included in it, so I did that for each year. So we just have a really quick, honestly a very quick snapshot of what it was that we did that day, and any particular day that's important. I've got, here is Gomme and Gompere, so French background, so my mum and dad are Gomme and Gompere to our children, so Gomme and Gompere's wedding anniversary is just written there, and then a very quick synopsis of what we did. So hello, tiredness from being away and our long trip home. We all did very little today, and we watched TV, ran a few errands, but apart from that we were all too tired to do much else. The puppies seem very happy to have this home with them, and that's it. That's all it is. There are going to be days where I scribble a lot, obviously, and then other days where it's very short and sweet. So what I found works best for me is actually just to write whatever it is. So obviously it's from my perspective because I'm the one writing it, but I do write about all 3 of us. So if we've done something together, then I write we as a family. If not, I write about what we did. So if one of us has the kids and the other doesn't, then it'll be, child and I did this, or child and my husband did that, or if we did it together, then it'll just be we. So it just gives us a snapshot of what we've actually done for the day. And as you can see, January was green. So what I also decided was that each month I would change the colour pen I was using in my planner. So February was purple. Yep, a little bit of an ink spot there. And I did need to show you one thing, but I'll do that in a second. Yeah, so, just days. There you go, Valentine's Day up there. So we kept going. So obviously we're currently in March, so I'm still finishing that up. As you can see, this one here is quite low. This is a leap year. It does have the 29, so I've popped it up here. So obviously the rest of this will be plain and boring because there won't be for the next 3, and then I'll have the final year there. So yeah, that's just the way that it kind of worked out, and that's just, yeah, it is what it is. So there is a spare page here at the end of February that's blank that I'm not sure is on every, see, January didn't have it. Depending on what month you're in, you might get a spare page. That doesn't worry me so much, so I've left it blank. March, haven't yet done our photo because March hasn't ended. So the one thing I did want to show you is, which I love about this planner, is, for example, my birthday is there, and I had way too much to write. So what I've done is, what an absolutely amazing day and exactly what I needed. And then I reference page 397. So back here with my tabs, I've got a Freely tab here, and what it is the year. And it actually depicts whatever it is. So as you saw back here in March, it actually referenced page 397, which is where I'm at, and then I have much more space to write in whatever it is. So Catherine has actually added a whole bunch of pages back here, blank pages, so that you can write however much you want to. And what I've done in here is I separated this into 5 years and given myself a tab there, see, 24 pages per year, where I will actually have enough space to write the big things that happen. So if anything massive happened or I need more space to write on that date, then I reference it back here on whatever date it is and just page whatever, and then I write it in here. Yeah, so that's kind of how I'm using it. So now let's talk about the planner itself. Oh yeah, whoops, before we do that, so my very last page is the ink that I'm using. I had all intents and purposes of sticking to the same ink for the whole month until, of course, the pink Hope that was in my pen ran out. So March, unfortunately, kind of has two colours through it. So we started off with this hot pink and then ended up with this kind of colour here, which isn't too bad, but it is not the hot pink, obviously. So yeah, that's a shame, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to go too badly, you know, have a go about it too much. It just is what it is. So what I've also decided to do for this month in particular was I ended up getting myself some stamps, some just normal boring old stamps that I could stamp on with this, so that I could actually utilize that to do each month, because I was kind of getting annoyed with just having to write the day in. But it is absolutely something that I want there. I want to know what day it is. So yeah, that is what I think I'm going to go forward with, having that done. But for now, how about you watch me fill in the last couple of days, because today is actually the very first day in April, so I do need to play catch up. That's the other thing. I do play catch up, so if I need to, what I do is in my actual planner, my everyday carry, I write a note about what we've done for the day. That way, when I have time and space to write in this, most nights I'm pretty good. Most nights I'll get it done. But, you know, life happens and every now and then I forget or there's too much going on. So that's just what happens. So how about we have a quick catch up in my planner, and that way we're all caught up to date before I actually review the paper and you know, what it actually feels like, in case somebody actually wants to know that. Okay. Okay, so there you have it. There was me catching up on the last couple of days of March, and that is that done. So yeah, that's pretty much how I'm using it at the moment, and how I'll continue to use it. So it's not just about me. I have my own journal, but this is more about my family and what we're up to. So now how do I set up for the next month? So if we want to, I'll do it quickly with you. I won't obviously do the whole lot because it'll take quite some time. Well, I might time lapse it. Yeah, I might time lapse it for you. So the first thing I do is I go back. Oh, by the way, blotting paper has been my saviour in this. As you can see, we've got some dots. The paper tends to, and I don't know if you can see it on here, I don't know what it is specifically about this planner in particular. I have all of my planners are sterling ink at the moment, all of my notebooks, and they all react completely differently to ink, to my fountain pen inks. It's really bizarre. Every single one of them acts so differently, it's not funny. So this one, you can see I've already smudged a little bit there. The ink stays wetter for a lot longer than in any of the other planners. So I have the A5 notebook as my journal, and I have a Weeks as my everyday carry, and I have a TN size as my Scribbler desktop notebook type thing. And I'm not kidding you, every single one handles ink completely differently. This one is lovely and smooth to write on, but the ink stays wet for quite some time. So hence why I actually ended up buying some blotting paper, put a bit of lace down the bottom so it also becomes a pretty bookmark as to where I am. But yeah, that's one thing that I have to say in this planner, for me anyway, is that it is very wet. So the other thing, I'll chat away while I set up. So this will be my photo page for April, and then we move into April. So this one has got 2 spare pages. So there's a blank page there, which doesn't always happen either. Or does it? I don't know. No, it doesn't. As you can see here in February, there is no blank page, it just goes February straight into March. And then here, there's nothing at all. There's a blank page there, there's no blank page at all, and this one has got a full blank page before the April one. So they're kind of a little bit, depending on obviously when the month ends, what you're going to get. I'm not worried about blank pages at all, so that's fine with me for that to happen. But yeah, so there we go. Anyway, so this is, and I'm just going to show you, these are the stamps that come with your A5, or any size. I think they come in a few different sizes, with your 5-year notebook. It comes with 5 years worth of stamps that you can use or not use depending on what you want to do with it. I do use them so that I'm actually well prepared. So what I do is I pretty much just stamp every page. So I'm going to do that while I have a chat to you, but also I might speed it up so that you're not here for the whole thing, because it does take time, and I also do the months after that. So what I also have found on the blotting paper as well is that the ink and I'm using an archival ink because it's waterproof and jet black. I love this ink for my stamping, but even this one, the ink stays wet for longer than it does in any of my other gelling ink notebooks, so I just move the blotting paper with me to be able to do that. So there have been a few, I don't know if anybody's on the gelling ink pages, there've been a few issues with numbering and dating for the Sterling ink pages. So far, I haven't found any, but to be perfectly honest, I haven't gone through the entire book to make sure that there is issues. If there is issues, I'm way too invested in this planner to restart it, way too invested in this planner to and it's too far in to redo everything, but I think there's enough, for me anyway, sufficient pages in the back of this book for me to be okay with whatever I need to do if I come up with an issue on this planner. But at this stage, I don't see that. So you can see here sometimes as well with some of the pages, it does tend to bleed a little and not be as sharp. And I don't even know what that is, because you can see that I'm not doing anything different. Some of them come up quite sharp, some of them come up quite, yep. I'm okay with that, but for some people that might not be okay. So I do want to give you an honest review of what this planner is doing. Overall, I'm actually really happy with the 5-year dated planner. It's become very quickly one of my favourite things, even if none of my other things like have regular entries in them. My journal is not a day per page. I've never kept a journal like that, so having this structure initially was a little bit foreign to me. It was a little bit weird. Didn't quite know whether it was going to work, didn't quite know if I was going to have anything to write. But there are even days where, honestly, in here I've written things like, had pizza for dinner, quiet night, exactly what we needed, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm not all that worried about what I write in here anymore. I just find it really quite nice just to reflect on what we did as that family that day, and the limited spaces so I can write. I honestly can. Like I said, I'm a journaler, so I can spend 3-4 pages writing about one day, which I will do, by the way. So having this limited pages means I've also got to think and be considered about what I'm going to write. Oops. Okay, well, that's going to do my head in, so let's just get a black pen and fix that up now, because if I come back to that later, I'm going to get annoyed with myself. There we go. What was I saying? I can't even remember now. That's what happens when you're live recording rather than voice overing, and just doing things as you do them. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, right. I do now remember what I was saying. Yeah, it's been interesting to slow down, to reflect on the day, and to have limited space means I have to be considered about what I write. So it's also taught me to do that, and it's a great way of reflecting on the day, so I'm really happy with how it's going. so far, and this writing practice has been really good for me anyway. Yeah, so really the only things I have to complain, and it's not really a massive complaint, is that the paper can tend to get really wet, so you do have to watch the smudging. But apart from that, I haven't actually found any major issues. So these are the stamps that I bought specifically for my days. So I'll just pull out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's obviously the same as Tuesday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. Far out. Come on, get out. So this month starts on a Monday. So yeah, this is literally what I do every month, is I just go through now that I've gotten them, and just stamp the days of the week just on top of where my date is. And me being me, every now and then just has to check that I'm still on track with the right day for the right date. And then Saturday and Sunday. Ooh, that was kind of misaligned there, but that's okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the journal itself. It's actually a beautiful idea. The simplicity is awesome. Really, really awesome. The simplicity is probably the one thing that I love the most. The other journals that I've had, you know, the dates and the years and everything there, which I like, but there hasn't been any additional pages to have, you know, the days where you write more than what is available on that page. So it's really nice to have those pages towards the back of the book to be able to use on those days where just, you know, more things happen. And also, now that I've found my groove, I'm really enjoying actually writing in this as a snapshot. It's not an emotional journal, which is where my other journaling happens. It's quite emotional. It's obviously helping me to process what's through the day, and also memory keeping, but this is memory keeping specifically if one of the kids wants to pick it up, or, you know, I want to know something about what we did, that kind of thing. See, I was talking to you guys and I lost track of what day I was actually at. So just making sure that I do that properly. Yeah, so let me get this done, and then we'll come back at the end and have a quick chat. Otherwise, I will keep rabbiting on, and you'll just be watching me stamp this until God knows when. All right. Okay, so there you have it. There is April set up and ready to go for me to start journaling. And the last thing we're going to do is actually pick an ink for April. So I've already picked my ink for the month. I think I'm going to show you what I've decided to go with, which is, here's my ink swatches. So this month is going to be, where is it now? Here it is, the Van Diemen's Shooting Star. Can you see that? Yeah, so that's going to be what's going to happen, and it's in my TWSBI pen. So at the very, very back here, I'm just going to go in and put in there. Oh, a lie, it's not the shooting star. It's not. Ooh, what is it? I got that wrong. I think it might actually be the Robert Astaire ink. Let's have a look at that, hey? Yep, it's definitely that one. So what am I going to have to do here? I'm going to have to liquid paper that out, aren't I? Okay, that's alright. Liquid paper is my friend, but I don't think I'm going to be able to use... No, let's not do that, that's too fat. for what I need it to do. Yeah, I'm not afraid to use liquid paper. I'm not even afraid to make mistakes. That's the whole point of planning. What I thought was happening is not what was happening, and that's okay. So this is actually Robert Estes, and I'll just write that in normal ink. That's fine. But this is Blue Ringed Octopus. So, and I think this is one of my favorite blues ever. It's just such a beautiful color, and it's got the tiniest bit of stuff on there. So yeah, okay. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful in terms of a review of the planner and how I set it up, as well as what you might be able to do with it. It is a beautiful planner. It is well constructed. It is holding up, and I'm not gentle on my planners. It is nice to write on, but the ink is a little wet, so just be aware of that. But apart from that, here you go. There is my 5-year Sterling Ink 5-year diary, I think she's called it, and that's how I've been using it. So just a reminder to hit like button and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.